mushroom. It's so cool, I don't know why. Hello, my name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic. It is Imbolc today. This is a pagan holiday. I did a video on Imbolc last year. Feel free to check that out. I'll link that somewhere. There are many ways to celebrate Imbolc, and I really like to honor the fact that it's all about winter being over and making way for spring and newness, you know? It's about honesty and scraping away all this snow and making a way for daffodils. Maybe it's a bit early for that and maybe there isn't snow outside, but you get it, right? It's like the death card in tarot. It's new beginnings. It's a new start. It's saying goodbye to the old and hello to the new. And with that comes honesty. I haven't been completely forthcoming to everyone. And it's not that I have been lying, but I haven't really gotten into my beliefs. I've talked a lot about psychics. I've been an advocate for them and for like saying that not all psychics are witches, not all psychics are like mediums and work with the dead. It's like there's so many different types of magic practitioners out there. And there is a negative stigma to a lot of them. Psychics can be seen as fraudulent, thanks to society and terrible people that have like given us a bad name by pretending to be psychic and stealing other people's money while exchanging false information. But it also dates back to further back, like historically, psychics are related to witches, and witches have a bad rep in history, especially when it comes to Christianity and religion. And people who practice witchcraft were worshippers of the devil, which was really, really bad. So now when someone says witchcraft, you automatically think of how pop culture has portrayed witches. There's so much judgment and misunderstanding about witchcraft and what it means, and I never really got into talking about it with people. I always kept to the psychic part, and I never really went into the witches and spells and the magic part, you know, because there's a spirituality is one thing, but then really getting into witchcraft is another, in my opinion. And we're all different in our belief systems and our values. So many people have been afraid to speak out about their values and their belief systems. And most people have suspected that I am a witch. I talk about magic, I talk about spirituality. Some people automatically associate me being as a witch, but I've never actually told people out loud that I'm a witch. And just like there's coming out about your sexuality, and there's a lot of YouTubers out there who are making videos kind of like this one, but about their sexuality instead. And coming out, like telling people about your feelings and your values and who you are and letting people know that, especially when something is so controversial or the stigma is so negative, like there's such a negative stereotype associated with your values, it makes it so scary to let the world know. And I'm sure some people suspect that I am into this stuff, just like a lot of family members of people who are, for example, gay, suspect that maybe they're into someone of the same gender, same sex. It's still important for that person to be able to voice their values and voice their beliefs and voice who they are. This is a big part of who I am. And although I'm not talking about my sexuality, I am talking about my beliefs and my values and my practice. When it's like sexuality, it's just coming out of the closet. And as witches like to say, it's coming out of the broom closet. And despite like people knowing that I already am kind of into this stuff, I've never really been formal about it. And I've never really felt comfortable telling people. And I don't know why. I guess I knew I would be accepted, but I just guess it's always been kind of an assumption. And I've never felt like I needed to. But I also feel now that more and more as I grow and coming into my element And I am coming out of the broom closet here, and I'm gonna tell you, I am a witch. Woo, that feels good. Not every psychic is into witchcraft, and witch is it's a label, right? All these things are labels, but they do define who I am to a certain degree. I'm not a Wiccan. I'm not part of like a religion. Witchcraft is different because it's not a religion. It is like, it's just the practice of magic, and it is what you want it to be. There are so many different types of witches out there, and I am definitely not like ceremonial. I'm not religious. I'm a solitary practitioner. I don't have like a coven. It doesn't mean that I'm not friends with other witches or practitioners, but there's just a whole world out there that I haven't really addressed. There have been so many times when, just to be polite, I've had to hide this from people. For example, my boyfriend's family is very religious, and I had to lie to them and tell them that I wasn't a psychic and I wasn't a witch out of respect for their religion. But in doing so, I put my beliefs aside and my heart and what I believe in. And I don't know if I'm okay with that. And I don't know if I'm gonna keep doing that when I see them. I grew up with two very skeptical parents. The thing about me is I come from a very Jewish family, but I was raised like in a non-religious way. I actually know very little, and it's kind of sad. I know very little about my Jewish heritage. When I was younger, I really was drawn to Buddhism. Yeah, imagine that, like someone in elementary school, so drawn to the spiritual aspects and belief systems of Buddhism. I was so drawn to meditation, and I started really kind of tuning into myself. And my mom is a doctor. She is a neurologist, and she doesn't really believe in any of this. She doesn't understand it. My dad is a philosophy professor, and he taught me to really question everything and to believe in whatever I wanted to believe in. And I'm really grateful for that. And even though they didn't understand what was going on with me, like they didn't understand like my psychic stuff and whatever, I was really grateful because they still supported me, and they still listened, and they still bought me books on witchcraft and tarot cards, and I love them for it. They constantly support me in this dream, and it's never died, and it wasn't a phase, and they knew that, and they respect that. And so I'm really grateful that my family kind of knew it, but I never really even told them like I'm a witch. I just was into it, you know? And saying that out loud is completely different. It's like a really different feeling, and it feels good. I think a lot of it is internal, this fear. I don't think anyone would like me less, and honestly, if they didn't like me, then they can go fuck themselves. Why do I want to be their friend anyway if they're that judgmental, right? Those aren't the kind of people that I want to keep in my life. But I think it was more for me just admitting it, and I'm not sure why I felt so conflicted about it. And as a psychic, working with this type of stuff, it is quite separate from doing spells and rituals and celebrating in bulk. And so I kept that side a secret. And I don't think it'll surprise a lot of people, but it's nice to say. And it's a part of who I am, and it's a part of who I've always been. It goes beyond fortune telling. I love witchcraft, and I love a lot of the belief systems that pagans have. I don't really know how to define myself, like what kind of witch am I? I don't know, but all I can say is I'm on this path, and it doesn't make me less of a psychic, but I am definitely now really giving myself permission to explore my spirituality in a more occult sense. I want to explore the metaphysical a lot more than I have been, and let myself do that. And I think by not speaking my truth, I have been like neglecting that part of me, and I have been prioritizing other things in my life and pushing down my values and my beliefs and making other people's beliefs more important than mine, and that's not true, you know? So now I am going to start exploring and learning, and I already do know a lot. I mean, I've been in the closet, in the broom closet, as a witch for like years and years and years, ever since I was a kid. And so I have, you know, developed a lot of understanding of witchcraft, and I do have a lot to offer, and I do hope I can share some of that on this channel. I really want the Tipsy Psychic to be more about the metaphysical and the psychic stuff, and I want to add my quirky spin to it, and I want the astrology to be there, and I want all of that, and I think I'm really going to try to be intentional with this channel. But anyway, yeah, I'm a witch. Well, that's a good first beginning of the year. This is the time, guys, to speak your truth. So this year, for Imbolc, I want you to speak a truth. Whether you want to comment below and type it out and let me know what your truth is, what you're going to start, and what you believe. Or if you just want to write it down in a journal somewhere, or say it in a whisper while you're in the bathtub. I don't care what you do. Speak your truth in one way or another. Express yourself. And just be you and be happy. And this year, we're gonna embrace ourselves and love ourselves, all of ourselves. And I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you're gonna be on this journey with me. Have a wonderful Imbolc. Subscribe to my channel. Bye. I'm out of the broom closet.